Howdy, Possum Patty here, and I'm nature journaling.
It's April 8th, and we have gray skies today. A little bit of drizzle in the morning, but rain last night. So I went out to check the rain gauge. Well, it looks like we had exactly ½ an inch of rain last night. I wanted to mark in my journal that we had a ½ an inch of rain last night, but instead of drawing the rain gauge every time, I thought I'd try out using this stamp that looks like a ruler. Now, it's not an accurate ruler here. Almost, but not quite. It's a little bit different. See, if you start an inch there, it's just a little bit smaller than a regular ruler. That doesn't matter because we're just marking off the amount of rain we had and not measuring anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stamp and some of this ink, fade-resistant dye ink. This is a light green because I want to paint on top of it. And just rub some of this ink on the stamp. I bought this stamp at a flea market, so I can't tell you where it came from. Get a lot of ink on there because it's a big stamp. And let's see, I want the one at the bottom. One's there. I'll stand up. And I'm just going to press this on my page. And there's my marker. Didn't do very good there, but that's okay. And dry that a sec. And I did not get, it came out really good up there, but not down here. That's okay, I'll get better at it. So the ½ an inch mark is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be that one right there. I have to mark it with a pen. And then my idea was to paint it in a ½ an inch. And done. Maybe I'll mark this rain gauge.
Okay, so I finished my quickie rain gauge. And now I'm ready to go outside and do some nature journaling.
The little pansies are wet but happy. Couple puddles on the sidewalk. We have a very unusual sidewalk. I think when the house was constructed, they must have dug up a lot of boulders. And the builder just didn't know what to do with all of them, and he put some in the ground next to the front porch and called it a sidewalk.
So I decided to spend some time with the sitting people today.
Right now our driveway is all gravel. This is called bluestone. This is the one I named Mother of All Rocks because it was so big. Let me back up a minute there. You could see how large it is. This one has a lot of lichen on it. I found these two metamorphic rocks. I think they're very nice, N-I-C-E, but they're also nice, G-N-E-I-S-S. So how did I know that these were nice rocks? Looking in my Macmillan Field Guide, Rocks and Minerals, I went to the key to main rock types. So I start with my rock specimen, and I look at it, and I can see that it has a crystalline structure and that it's banded or layered. So yes, it has light and dark banding. The minerals in the dark bands display bright reflecting surfaces, and you can see that on the rock. And there's a strong parallel alignment, so I know it's a metamorphic rock. So I'm going to go to page 54. And I can see that the crystals are visible, yes. And I can see that they're medium core sized and they're banded. You always think of the banding going across the light and dark stripes. So now I know this is a gneiss. So I'm going to go to page 168. And when I read about the gneiss rock and the banding, I can read that the dark bands are mica and hornblende, and that the light bands are quartz and feldspar. And the pictures are on the next page. And there shows the banding. And here's one of the Ogden ones that has the round eyes in it. So I can write this in my journal today and learn a little bit more about rocks. Wow, super day today, listening to the stories that rocks can tell. In my journal today, I drew these rocks that I found outside in my yard. These are both metamorphic rocks, or changed rocks. Rocks change from one form into another. And I wrote a little story. I have more questions than answers today, but that's okay. Sometimes when we nature journal, we can just have questions. But the important thing is that every rock has a story to tell. Now this rock is rounded due to some experience with water. What happened to it? Was it tumbled about in a river? Did it experience the waves at the shore of a lake or an ocean front? Or was it made smooth by some glacier action? There was a glacier lake in this region thousands and thousands of years ago. So that part of the story is untold. But what I can see is that it has eyes. And these eyes are telling me that it's an Ogden Gneiss. Ogden comes from a German word for eye. This rock is also a gneiss. But it's very sharp and angular. I think it must have broken off from another rock because this face is very clean. And I could see the bands of black and white. In this area, we experienced regional metamorphic events. That means there are mountains here as high as the Himalayas, 20, 30,000 feet high. And underneath these mountains, the rocks were changed from one form to another through the heat and the pressure. This one may have been granite because it has these eyes. I'm not sure what this one was. That's another part of the story that I don't know. This rock is very interesting. This is a serpentinite from eastern Pennsylvania. It's called serpentinite or serpentine because it looks like the skin of a snake. It's very smooth and has these markings. And then I thought about what was a rock and what was a stone. Rock versus stone. A rock is just a solid aggregation of minerals. A stone is a piece of rock that has been shaped for a purpose by a person, or just picked up and used for a purpose. Maybe it was shaped and used in building a house or a wall, or maybe it was used to mark a border. Maybe it was used in a ceremony or for decoration. This one was put into a tumbler and made smooth for decoration. But these are the same. This is a serpentine rock, and this was a serpentine rock until somebody picked it up and changed it, and now it's a stone. So we have rock versus stone. This is also a metamorphic rock. But whereas these were formed from the Earth's crust under mountains, this one was formed from the Earth's mantle, probably thrust up during a tectonic plate event, and then changed with lower temperatures and seawater into what you see now. I had a very good day today. Thanks for coming along today. Bye-bye.